So thank you so much for joining me. I'm really enjoying doing these classes. So if you aren't aware, we are doing these monthly. Every first Thursday of the month, we're doing a new class on different topics that can really help business people and real estate agents in growing their business using AI tools. I will tell you as I fill in for a minute here as people are starting to show up, more and more every single day, I'm seeing uses for artificial intelligence in business. I host lots of business groups. There's a couple of them I host on a monthly basis, and one that I host weekly. And in talking to business people, there's really two groups of people. Three. You've got the diehards like me that are just, hey, I think there's huge value in using AI. You've got the people that are kind of playing with it a little bit and saying, "Hey, I don't know. I think it's valuable. I'm using it a little bit here and there." And then we've got everybody else. And there's so many people who are afraid of it. They're afraid because it's something new. They're afraid because it is something different, not sure how to make it work and figuring, hey, you know what? I know well enough how to handle all of this. Why do I need to change? And for any of you that have been in the business for any period of time, change is all we have in business. Like that's the only thing you count on is things changing, and they're going to continue to evolve. And I look at AI as a huge opportunity to figure out how to get more efficient at your job, how to be more effective at your job, and the tools continue to evolve, which is why I'm excited to do this for you monthly and to give you updates on different ways in which you can use AI. Up until now, I've really been focused on the tools and talking about the big picture of how to use it. Today, I'm going to talk about another tool, but I'm going to start shifting towards the benefits, the outcomes, the things you can do with it in your business that you may not be thinking about. And today is a big one that I think can make a really, really big difference as a tool. But that's all it is. Like all of these things that I'm talking about are just one little thing that you're going to have to put as a tool in your tool belt. It's no different than when you think about using any other tool. When you think about using your camera on your iPhone to record a video to upload onto YouTube. Well, you've used multiple tools right there. You've used the camera on your phone to record the video. You could have gotten a complicated setup. I've got lights here. I've got a nice DSLR camera. You don't need all of that stuff. You have lots of flexibility on which tool you use. And so camera is a tool. YouTube is a tool. You could have put that video on Facebook. You could have put it on TikTok or Instagram. All of them are different tools. None of us are using every tool in our business. And so think about that. Don't get overwhelmed. Somebody asked me this morning on a business group that I hosted and said, John, which is the best tool for my industry? And I said, I don't know. I don't. What I do know is the tool that has the most common features, the highest number of features is going to be ChatGPT because it is the highest adoption, the highest funded. And so if you're going to start somewhere, start with ChatGPT. Now, that's not what I'm going to talk about today. But what I'm going to talk about today isn't going to replace ChatGPT. There's a lot of things that this system is limited in what it does. But what it does amazingly well. And I'm going to piece some of this together. So if you are a beginner, just take from it what you can. But if you're an advanced user, moderate or advanced user, I think you're going to get some big value out of what I'm talking about today and how I piece some of this together for your business. So first of all, I'm going to share with you what the tool is. And so the tool that I'm going to talk about today is actually something I talked about on our first webinar back in February. And it's a system called Notebook LM. And let me just make sure you guys can see my screen. So yep, you're seeing the correct screen. All right, perfect. So by the way, if you have questions, feel free to chat in anytime you have questions. I will address those as I can. But my goal here really is to give you an overview of what this is and how it works. So Notebook LM is a free product from Google. It is actually Google's most highest rated AI tool. Like they didn't expect it to take off like this. And it is a very, very powerful tool And so I'm curious if you've used Notebook LM before or not. If you have the ability to post into chat, do me a favor and put it in chat, just saying yes or no, just so that I know kind of whether I've got an audience of people that have used this or not used it. And so feel free to kind of give me a quick yes, I've used it, or no, I have not into chat, so I can get a feel of what I've got. All right, I've got a couple of no's. I've got no yeses yet. So it sounds like I, so far, am dealing with a new tool for all of you. Yep, I got 100% of no's so far. All right, beautiful. So I want you to think of Notebook LM as a research tool, okay? Notebook LM, think of it like a notebook. You're keeping notes, but it's more about being able to talk to your data, okay? Being able to talk to content. So, for example, if you had, if you were a lawyer, you might put a copy of the U.S. Constitution into Notebook LM. That would be a source. As a matter of fact, let's go down that road really quickly just to show you what you're doing is you're creating notebooks. Now, my version is the plus version. I spend a whopping $20 a month for this. Okay. All it means is that I can have more notebooks and more data in each notebook. Most of you don't need this. Okay. But if you do, if you start saying, hey, I need more information to be able to store in there because I love this tool you taught me, John, great. Then what you need to do is you need to upgrade to $20 a month through the Google Plus program. Okay. But I'm going to create a brand new notebook. And I am going, so the first thing it's saying is, well, that's great, but what are you putting in here? Like what content, what are you trying to research? And so normally what you're doing is you're uploading data. Now, I'm going to give you a great example. Most of my participants are real estate agents, and I'm going to bet that a lot of you have gotten HOA documentation that is a really, really thick binder. You got the CC&Rs, you've got the agenda and minutes from all of the meetings that they've done. And you're like, yeah, that's not my place to have to interpret that for the buyer. So I'm just sending it to them. And the truth is they're not reading it and they're not understanding it. But the buyer's going to say, hey, by the way, am I allowed to park in my driveway? Am I allowed to do whatever? Now, this is a condominium association's example that I'm about to give you, but I can upload documents. I can upload PDF documents or text documents or audio files. I can also connect it to my Google Drive. So if you have paperwork, if you have documents or slides in Google Drive, you can upload it there. You can give it a website and say, hey, I'm going to show you examples of this. I'm just giving you a real high level right now. You can give it a website and say, I want you to use this website as your source of reference material. You can give it a YouTube link, or you can just paste in text. Okay. So I'm going to start right now and I'm going to choose files to upload. I'm going to go to, let's see if I got it here. I know for sure I do, but let's go here and here really quickly. Perfect. It's under my test HOA. So these are all of my HOA documents. So this is a condo that had problems with the balconies. If you are not aware, there's major issues right now with condominium associations and balcony and stair issues. And so this association, I got all of the paperwork from this association. And there's a bunch of documents here. And I can take all of them and put them into Notebook LM. So what I did is I just gave it a whole thick stack of paperwork. Like some of these documents might be a couple hundred pages worth of a document. And I was able to upload all of that right here. And now it's digesting it. It's processing each document. Again, I didn't do this ahead of time, so this is happening right now. It's processing all of these documents. And you're like, okay, John, that's great. So it's done processing. There's a lot of information in there. So I'm going to show you a couple of really cool things. And I'm going to go slow, but you'll get a copy of this recording and you can watch it again. So the first thing is this way over here on the right side. And I'm going to walk you through this, guys. We're going to cover a lot today in little chunks. Okay. This is one of my favorite features of Notebook LM, and it's called the audio overview. It will take any of the data you have input, and it will create a podcast style conversation between two people. You might say, John, why do I care? Because it will tell you verbally everything high level that was in the documentation. And so I've used this multiple times. For example, this is, I have all right in here. I can select or unselect the documents. So I want to know, so there's their articles of incorporation. Here's their budgets, bylaws, CC&Rs. So I want right here, here's all their meeting minutes. And so I want to know, hey, what are they talking about in their meeting minutes? Like I can read the CC&Rs, but I want to know what is going on with this HOA and their meeting minutes. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to select all of these meeting minutes. Okay. So what this is doing, if you look right down here, it says 5 sources because I've selected 5 of these things. So even though I got a long list of documents that I've uploaded into the system, I'm selecting which ones do I want to be communicating with. And I'm going to communicate with all of the uh, meeting minutes. So I've got all of them from 2022, 2023 into early 2024. Okay. So this deal was only a month ago, but I don't know why they only gave us through 2024. But I've got 13 sources. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to create a conversation. So what I can do right here is I can say, hey, what do you want to talk about? Like I can give it specific things, focus on particular topics, target an audience. And so I'm going to say, target audience is a home buyer who is looking to buy in this community, and they want to be aware of issues that have come up during HOA meetings. Okay, I'm just creating this on the fly. So I'm going to hit create. And based upon those 13 sources that I selected, it is generating a conversation. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to walk away from it right now because it can take 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes for it to create this conversation. So that's why I'm starting with that because it takes time to create it. But by the time we're done, you're going to hear what this conversation was. Okay, so now I can go back here and I can select everything again. So I have all 26 documents. And I want to orient you. On the left side are your sources. What are you talking to? In the middle is your conversation, your chat with said documents. And on the right is your output. Okay. So here's what you're looking at. You're looking at, I can say right now, I can ask a question and I can say, do I get how many parking spaces do I get? I don't even know if it's in there. Okay, so let's see. That's a question that maybe I'd want to know if I'm buying in a condo association. How many parking spaces does each resident get? So it is scouring all of this. So it's got the CC&Rs, it's got the bylaws, it's got the amendments, and we're done. Based on the sources provided, there's no explicit information about how many parking spaces each resident gets. However, they do mention several aspects relating to parking within the community. Parking rules exist and information regarding parking tags is added to the welcome package for homeowners and renters. The rules may be restricted by the board. Okay. Well, I want to know exactly what they said because here's the problem with AI. The problem with AI is it is giving you its interpretation. And most AI systems are connected to the general internet that can research bad data. So the first beautiful thing about Notebook LM, first of all, it's free. Okay. Secondly, is it can't look at data beyond what you have given it. So it's saying, hey, I know for sure that it's only looking at this data, but I still am not positive that it's interpreting it right because it's interpreting this data. So it's got reference marks right here. And I can click on that reference mark and it shows me in the data, it takes me to the exact page and tells me exactly what it says. And so it took me to the meeting minutes from February 15th of 2023. And here's Karen again. It's kind of funny that Karen's talking. So here's Karen, and Karen talks about a welcome package to new homeowners and renters. They redesigned the welcome package so homeowners and renters are better informed about meetings, websites, managers, etc. And here's the reference. We need to add information regarding parking tags and rules. So that's how they're saying it's being added to the welcome package. Cool. That's why they said that. That makes sense. Community utilizes a patrol company to enforce parking rules. There have been discussions about the consistency of that, concerns about non-residents. 72-hour rule exists. Ooh, what's the 72-hour rule? Isabel admitted to the absence of such documentation, et cetera, et cetera. A homeowner suggested reassigning visitor parking. Isabel explained the 72-hour rule and the need to prevent abuse of parking spots. Okay, so we're finding this may not be relevant, but imagine trying to read through 400 pages of a document to figure out if you're allowed to park your car in there or not. You've got all of the answers right here. Now you got to be careful because as a realtor, you don't want to answer. You all know, you know better than I do. I'm not your broker. I'm not your legal representation, but we're all smart enough to know you got to be careful about what you tell your client is fact. So you can share this notebook with them. Now, I got to be honest, I don't know if sharing is allowed in the free version. I'm pretty sure it is. Okay. But if you find this is useful, pay the 20 bucks a month to get sharing. And so I can take this and I can share it with anybody I want. I can share it specifically with someone, or I can copy the link and let anyone. So right now I've got full notebook. Anybody can chat, view sources and notes. Okay. Or I can give you chat only. So right now I've copied the link. And for those of you who are watching live, I don't know if that's going to work or not. Yep, it did. Oops, I only sent it to one person. Let me do it to everyone. So now, I don't know, I haven't tried this in a while, but I just copied this link and I just shared it with everybody who's watching live in the Zoom chat. You should be able to go in here and see exactly what I'm seeing. I'd love for somebody to give me feedback in the chat to make sure that I'm right. I'm positive I'm right. You should be able to ask it whatever questions you want. And I'm going to minimize this side on the left. And remember, you get to choose which of these sources you want to look at. So imagine giving this as a tool to your buyer. You got all the HOA documents. You didn't answer any of their questions, but you gave them a tool to research and figure it out on their own. Now, am I saying that you have no liability? I don't know. I don't think you do. Like, you didn't answer the question for them. You didn't tell them you're allowed to have 3 parking spaces. You didn't tell them anything, but you gave them a resource free of charge to them where they're able to ask whatever questions they want of the data. Imagine putting, again, you don't want to put sensitive data in here. You don't want to put anything that has to do with PI, personally identifiable information. So I wouldn't put somebody's loan application or tax returns or anything like that. But for business people in most businesses, for real estate agents, which is a majority of the people who are on this call, there's lots of things. You could put a purchase contract in there. I mean, it says their name, it says what they're buying it for. This isn't searchable online, but you don't trust that everything that you put into social media or into any AI system is private. It's kind of like anything you put on social media. Like once you do it, like even Snapchat stuff goes away, but does it really? Like, does it really? So let's see. Heather says it's opening the notebook for me, but it's just showing hers. It says I don't have access to view the notebook. That is interesting. I don't think I did anything wrong in my settings, but who knows?
I don't know if it's a permissions thing or what, but
Yeah, that's interesting. If I put add a welcome note, try this, welcome to the product support notebook. That's uh, hope this works. Okay. Guys, it's technology, right? And it should be, I'm not notifying anybody, and viewers have full access. Copy link. All right. So I'm going, let me ask this. Heather, would you be opposed to the world knowing your email address?
no, that's fine.
Cool. I'm going
And
to send it to
actually,
Heather.
you just sent it to me, so I'm gonna see. It still says you do not have access to this notebook.
Okay.
My
So
email's heather@yourconciergeagent.com.
Heather at
Agent.com.
yourconciergeagent.com. And Vahe asked, is it a Google product? Yes, it is. And maybe you need to register, but let's
Mm.
just, for the
Yeah, I
purpose
do have
of,
Google Workspace as my.
all right, so I am going to make you, I don't really care. I'm going to make you an editor. Um, this is what I would do if I was a realtor and I was sending this to one of my buyers. Hey, you're an editor. You can play with it because I'm just giving it to you as a tool. I'm going to put notify so that you are notified, and I'm going to
Okay.
send it to you. So Heather's going to be our test subject. I was going to call you a test dummy, but that's disrespectful.
You can call me a
So
guinea pig.
Heather's
That's fine.
there, guinea pig. Heather's going to be our guinea pig, and see if it works via that method of sharing. And Al, yeah, it might be that you have to register. I apologize that I didn't test this part.
I had registered already,
Okay.
so I haven't gotten the notification yet, but let
All
me
right. Well,
click the
let's.
link and see if it did anything different. No, it didn't do anything different yet.
All
Okay.
right. Hang tight. Let us know,
Okay.
or chat to
I
let you
shall.
know if it works, and then we'll jump back and confirm that it worked. I'm going
Okay.
to move on because maybe I mean, look, this is what happens when you present live, right? We'll roll through. All right. Concept is the same. Concept is, even if you're, I mean, lots of ways you can use this, but there is for sure the share function. I've used it before, so I don't know what's happening right now. But I've created this information. That is me asking it a question. Okay. I want to do one more thing here in sharing my screen. I don't know if I shared audio. So let me make sure that I am sharing computer sound on. Beautiful. Guess what? Our 19-minute audio is here. Now, I like listening to things in double speed. Some people hate it. Okay. I would put this on double speed and I would listen to it real quick. So that means it's a 9-minute overview. But I am going to play this right now.
Welcome to this deep dive. We're focusing today specifically on you, someone thinking about buying into the Fall Creek community.
Right. We've dug into a whole stack of Fall Creek HOA meeting minutes, basically covering August 2022 all the way through April 2024.
Okay. I'm going to play a little bit more. I'm not playing 19 minutes. I'm not playing anywhere near that. First of all, who's impressed? Like, this literally is a conversation between a man and a woman talking about the content that you just put in there. And it's a real conversation. So I'm going to play a little bit more and let's see where this goes. And I'm going to show you something else called interactive mode.
And the goal here really is to give you a clear picture of the kinds of issues, the discussions, the decisions that have come up directly from those official records.
Consider it like an insider's look. We're highlighting the recurring themes, the big projects, and yeah, the concerns homeowners have actually voiced over the last couple of years.
It should help you get a feel for the community's priorities, maybe some of its challenges, beyond just, how the place looks.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna now jump into something called interactive mode. Okay. This is super cool. This lets you participate in the conversation with that man and that woman. Okay. Now, why does this matter? Vahi brought it up. He said, I had a client yesterday, they wrote an offer and he told me he put all of the inspection reports on AI. There's other AI tools that can do this for you, Vahe, but nothing in this way. So he might not use this tool, but this is my favorite tool to digest information. Absolutely favorite tool to digest information. So I'm now in interactive mode and I'm going to hit play again.
Welcome to this deep dive. We're focusing today specifically on you, someone thinking about buying into the Fall Creek community.
Right. We've dug into a whole stack
And
of
I'm going to
Fall
click
Creek
join.
HOA meeting minutes. Oh, hey there. How can we help?
Hey, before we get too far, can you just tell me like the number one recurring issue that we're seeing in these meeting minutes?
Oh, that's a great question to jump in with.
It really is, and it's something that definitely stands out.
If we had to pick just one, it would probably be the ongoing issues related to major projects.
Absolutely. The fire at Building 314 and the community repipe project.
They both come up meeting after meeting.
Right. They've been multi-year sagas with lots of twists and turns.
Okay, so let's unpack this a bit more. A good place to start seems to be these.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Hey, hold on. Tell me more about the fire in building 314.
Absolutely, that's a really important one to dig into.
It's been a significant event for the community.
So the fire at Building 314, this has been ongoing for quite a while.
The first mention we see in these minutes is back in August of 2022.
Right, and it's referenced in almost every subsequent meeting we looked at.
It really highlights how a major incident like this can impact an HOA.
One of the biggest hurdles seems to have been dealing with the insurance company.
Oh, without a doubt. The minutes are filled with mentions of the adjuster.
And by spring of 2023, there was even talk of filing a lawsuit.
That shows you the level of frustration and the difficulties they were facing.
A lawsuit is a pretty serious step for a homeowners association.
It is, and it can have long-term implications for everyone involved.
It definitely raises questions about the community's insurance coverage.
Or perhaps the process of getting a claim resolved.
Even when the interior work was nearing completion, around May 2023.
Exactly. The focus then shifted to the exterior siding.
But the underlying issue with the insurance remained unresolved.
Yes, and this continued to be the case as recently as April of 2024.
So it's been a long and complex process for the residents of 314.
It really underscores how these major issues can take.
Tell me that's not super cool. Is that not like the coolest thing you've seen all morning? Maybe even all month. It's, by the way, it's only the first of the year, first of the month. Uh, maybe
That's
it's me
crazy.
and I'm just, yeah, like I'm impressed by stupid little things, right? But this is huge. Like you literally can text with your documents. You can create a podcast. Now, some people are using this to actually create podcasts for social media. Now, I have mixed emotions. Anybody who's heard this before, those are the exact same two voices. So anytime you hear those two voices from now on, you know, oh, that's Notebook LM. Google Gemini is using the same concept now. So if you use Gemini at all, they're going to start creating audio overviews of your content using the same two voices. Now, maybe they'll change voices later and have it so that it's not the same people. But there are people who are creating content for social media using these voices. You put in information about a community, about a loan program, about whatever it is, and you can create a podcast about it and then send it out as marketing material. Like it's crazy. And then the consumer, again, hopefully at some point it works for Heather, that as the recipient of this, she should be able to listen to this and join in on the conversation and ask questions of them. And when what happens is when I join in and they answer my question, they kind of go back to the original topic, the original conversation they were going to have. So I jumped in early and said, what's the number one issue? They weren't going to cover that yet. So as soon as they had talked about the number one issue, they kind of went back to starting to where I interrupted them, and they kept going on what they were going to talk about. So you can grab it at any point in time and say, whoa, whoa, stop, you moved too quickly there. Deep dive into that even further for me. They're looking at the same content live. So you can ask them any question. If it's in the content, they will be able to pull it out. Now, out of curiosity, Heather, has it worked yet or no?
I still haven't gotten a notification email. I tried clicking that link again, and it just still gives me the same, you don't have access.
Okay. Well, clearly I've failed and you can all leave now
Well,
because this wasn't worth the
I
time.
mean, I just double checked to see because I just set up a Notebook LM, so I wasn't sure if perhaps there was like you have to verify this or something.
Yeah, maybe, and maybe there's something in settings. I don't know. Like I use this mostly for myself. I've tried it once sending it to someone on my team and we figured out how to make it work, but it's not a feature I've used. But as I thought about how I would use this if I was a realtor, it's something I would do because I'm not giving you the answers, but I'm giving you the tool to find the answers. And now it's on you.
It just says you do not have access to view this notebook, so I don't know.
Okay.
But it's at the bottom. Like at first I didn't even see it. So
Okay. Well, either way, I think the concept is there, guys. You can download this audio. So when you create the audio, you can download it. You can do it now in multiple languages. I just found out last month that they will do an audio in 50 different languages. So you could take this and say, please, so I can start over. So I'm going to delete this audio and I'm going to start over and I'm going to say, create the overview in Spanish, talking to prospective buyers about potential issues discussed. Okay. Now I'm not going to wait. I'm not going to listen to it. I wouldn't even know if it was doing a good job in Spanish. Okay. But you can do that. And it's going to create it in Spanish. Like, it is crazy what this stuff will do. Now, obviously, I'm not going to create something in Spanish and send it to the client representing that it's accurate. I don't speak Spanish. Okay. So I wouldn't, that would be a big risk if I did that. But I have 2 people on my team who do. I've got many people on this call who do. And so if you do, you can create something in language for someone that will help them understand something better. So crazy what this stuff will do. But it will also, so I'm going to give you some other ideas. So this is one of them. Another example, this is how I keep track of stuff that's changing with Cal HFA. And so what I do is I update this with the link to all of their board meetings. So I put Cal HAFA's board meetings in here, and I've got the YouTube video of every board meeting. And as I go in here, so I'm going to go right now to YouTube, and I'm going to go to Cal HFA. I'm giving you guys all my secrets. Okay. So I'm going to go to Cal HFA. And I am going to, here's their board meeting for May 25th that's coming up. But I'm going to go to their YouTube channel. Okay. Forgive me if this starts playing audio, I'll mute it right away. And I go to videos. And I see, okay, they got some cool videos. Here's February 20th. Was it a live stream maybe? It was. So here is the March 2025 board meeting. I don't know if I have that one in here or not. I do. So I have the March 2025 board meeting. But let's say that I want to add, because they just added a new video about their property requirements. Cool, that's a good one. So I'm going to copy, it's only a 2-minute video, okay? But I'm going to take this and I'm going to share it. And I'm going to copy that link. I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to add a new source. That source is going to be YouTube. And I'm going to paste the YouTube video in there. So now it just added right here. It's one of my sources is the Cal HAFA property requirements video. I would like to talk to only that source. And I would like for it to give me a briefing document on what that source was. So I click briefing document. It's generating based on one source. So it's got all of this data of all of the board meetings for the last 2 years with Cal HAFA. It's how I've stayed up to date on what's changing with down payment assistance programs. And it is now creating a briefing on this document. And so, or on this video. And it says, okay, well, this is from Cal HAFA property requirements and key themes align with underlying program guidelines. What's the role of Lakeview? Unit limitations. There's a strict limitation on the number of units the property can have. Oh, but it doesn't tell me the strict limitation. Or maybe I couldn't find it. So what is the limitation to the number of units a property can have? You guys see how this is all working together? Like anything you've got, it could be a book, it could be a video, it could be deep research, which I'm going to go to in just a minute. Okay. And it says, oh, well, based upon the source provided here, the limitation is 1 unit. Multiple units such as duplexes are not allowed. However, an ADU or granny flat is permissible. This is acceptable if the appraiser categorizes the property as a 1 unit with an ADU. If the property is categorized as 2 units, it's not eligible. Well, I just want to double check and make sure. Remember, this was a YouTube video I put in here. I want to click on this reference. This is the transcript of the YouTube video. Okay, so it is literally saying properties like a duplex. Okay, so multiple property can only be 1 unit, so no multiple unit properties like a duplex. An ADU or granny flat is okay. If the appraiser says it's 1 unit with an ADU, you're good. If it's categorized as 2 units, then it's not acceptable for CalHFA financing. So you're able to put in a YouTube video. Now there's some YouTube videos that are long. This one, you're going to be on here for an hour. This will be put on YouTube later. You can go back to all of my AI classes that I've done since the beginning of this year, February. So this is the fourth one. And you could make all of those sources in Notebook LM. And then you can say, gosh, John talked about something. He talked about a tool that could do something, and I don't remember what it was. Cool. Then just select all of the sources and ask it, hey, wasn't there something talked about that was A, B, and C that could do X, Y, and Z? And you can pull out the information. Okay. So this, now I'm going to go back over here to the right side. So this is the history of all of the stuff that I have requested within their system. So back in February, I had looked up and I was trying to get a little bit more information. And so I had it do a full briefing of that particular meeting. I very quickly had this, and this is a pretty long written overview. So I might say, you know what? I just want to create it as an audio. I'm not going to create the new audio, but I can create the audio right here and have it be able to give me something I can listen to in the car. Because I know realtors, and you guys spend a lot of time in the car. Okay, if you're not a realtor and you don't spend a lot of time in the car, maybe it's faster to read something, but I don't spend that much time in the car, but I still prefer it as an audio because then I can be doing one thing while I'm working on something else. I can be listening while I'm doing something, even taking my lunch and eating real quick and listening to it in the background. There's a lot of value to digest information as a summary before you dive into the actual content. It tells you where to go. It tells you what to look for within that content. So I'm gonna give you guys a couple other examples. So first of all, deep research. So deep research, I talked about this on one of my prior, actually, matter of fact, I think it was last month in April, but I didn't really use it as much back then, and now I'm using it all the time. I am a huge fan of deep research, and I'm not gonna spend a lot of time talking to you about deep research as much as I want you to get the concept here. So in ChatGPT, if you are at least on the $20 a month plan, you can at the $20 a month plan, you can get 25 deep researches a month. Okay, so I've done multiple deep researches. But one of them was I really want to do a better job of delivering this content right here. What I am doing for you today, I want to have a bigger audience. I want to do a better job of marketing it. I want to do a better job of delivering content that you need. So I asked ChatGPT to help me. And I said, hey, I want to get more education. I want to get more attendance. How should I do it? And so I had it create a deep research prompt. Now, 2 months ago, I did a video talking about prompting. And everybody a year ago was freaking out about how critical it is to be able to prompt the AI system properly. That has become less important because now you can just ask the system to help you write a better prompt. So to get good at AI, ask AI how to get good at AI. And so I asked it, I want you to help me create a deep research prompt. So help me create a deep research prompt to get the most comprehensive starting point. And it says, yep, I agree. By the way, I asked it, do I think deep research is a good idea for this? And he says, yeah, I think it's a really good idea. And here's your prompt. And so it literally said, here's what you need to do. It went way deeper than I thought. It said, you're an expert market research analyst hired to create the definitive playbook for filling a monthly webinar. And I got to scroll to the right to see it, but audience, who it is, goal of the report. And it broke it down into specific sections. Like, what are the top 10 pain points and desires around AI adoption? Give me 12 high-performing subject lines and hooks with metrics. Like, wow, I would spend thousands of dollars to have a consultant to do this for me. And I plugged it into ChatGPT. Now, this asked me a couple, I plugged it in here, and you'll see right here, the computer worked for 74 minutes. 74 minutes of constant AI computing power, it did 87 internet searches for me. I did nothing after spending 5 minutes writing that quote or that asking that question at the top. And it worked for an hour and 15 minutes on my behalf. When it was done, it came up with the playbook, AI for Realtor Webinar Marketing Playbook. And it is 122 pages long. And when I first learned about deep research, I thought, this is stupid. What am I ever going to use a 122-page document for? Even if it's 60 pages, that is way too much. I just want my answer. Please just give me my answer. But here's the deal. This now serves as my source to ask questions. Because if I simply say, hey, I'm creating a webinar for realtors to talk about AI, give me some ideas of a topic or a title to use if I'm going to be talking about Notebook LM. And it might give me some random examples because it's just freestyle, and it's AI is like the smartest person you've ever met, ever. They know everything about everything. But guess what? When you ask somebody that knows everything about everything a question, they don't know where to go to answer it. Like, okay, well, how deep of an answer does he want? Who's his audience? What's he trying to accomplish? What are his goals here? And you kind of just give the best answer you can think of because you have so much, you have so many books that you could pull from, so much training that you've had in the past that you're like, I don't know where to start, but all right, I'll give you an answer. This takes the entire amount of knowledge in the internet, condensed it down to 122 pages that now I use in Notebook LM. And so I go over here to Notebook LM, and I've got, now these are all of the different deep researches I've done. I've done multiple, but this is my AI webinar deep research. I've got 2 Hispanic team members, and so we're working on some marketing strategies to help the Hispanic population with home ownership and refinancing and mortgages. And so I had to do a deep research into Hispanic marketing. And then I did this class today. Like, I did an AI research on how to help you use Notebook LM. Because I use it, but am I the expert in teaching it? No. So I asked it what to do. Now, I took the webinar deep research, and I turned it into an audio overview. And it was 38 minutes long. I played it double speed. I finished it in 18 minutes, 19 minutes. Okay, can't do math, sorry. I'm not in mortgages, don't worry about that. I finished it in 19 minutes, but it told me so much. Now, did I retain it? No, but I have an overview. So now I can go ask questions. So I can go in here and say, so I got rid of the other 2, and I want to only ask questions about the AI deep research. And I'm going to say, what are the top pain points when realtors are considering if they should use AI or not? And I know it talked about it, but I don't remember what they were. So let's talk about you guys. Let's analyze why you're here or why you haven't used it. Okay, well, fear of the unknown. Many agents feel they don't know what they don't know regarding AI and technology, with 55% reporting they were only somewhat familiar with AI as of 2023. Well, I think that's old data, a year and a half ago. So I think a lot more are familiar, but they don't have the time to learn. Realtors typically wear multiple hats. Making the investment of time needed to learn a new AI tool is a pain point. Replacing the human touch. Bet a lot of you feel that way. Like, I don't know if I want to use AI because it's taken away the human side of it. And this is all about me. Cost and ROI, overwhelmed by tech choices, data privacy, and compliance. So, and again, I know I'm talking about you in this, but if you think as me, marketing to you, I can say, well, gosh, that's really helpful then. Because now maybe something that I should be talking about is how, and it's part of what I did today, is I talked about how you can use this to help your customer. You actually, other than the fact that I failed to actually deliver on the link to Heather, the fact is that I did give the human touch. I did give the, hey, I'm helping you and I'm going to walk you through how to use this. Legally, I can't tell you what the answers are. You're exploring it and finding it on your own. But I actually, because I'm now aware that realtors are concerned as a general population about replacing the human touch, I now can customize my message. Think about that for your business. Let me give you another example. I'm going to go with Hispanic marketing. So I'm going to right now refresh my middle panel. I'm getting rid of my chat history and I am now refreshing it. Okay. So now this is about our source talks about strategic marketing approaches for Hispanic home buyers, emphasizing bilingual communication, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So I would say, what are the biggest hurdles to homeownership? I won't even say for this group because it'll know that I'm talking about this group because I'm only talking to this document. But imagine you were online and you were trying to find a document about how to market to Hispanic homebuyers. Well, I don't know if you're going to find any one definitive document, but I created the document using deep research. And so what are their concerns? Access to credit and lack of credit. Okay, what they're calling credit invisible. So what this research is saying is approximately 30% of Hispanic consumers are credit invisible, meaning they lack a usable credit score. They have concerns about documentation and legal concerns. There's language barriers, trust and relationship gaps, et cetera, et cetera. So now I know what the pain points are that I can address. I didn't read 122 pages of a document. I literally created my own source of truth because I asked the question in the beginning of ChatGPT that gave me that document. Notebook LM is what is the game changer. And I'm going to show you a couple other things. Before I do, we've got about 12, 14 minutes left. Does anybody have any questions about anything I've talked about so far? Anywhere you want me to dive deeper into?
I just had a quick clarification. The deep
Yes.
research, that's with the plus plan? Or
It is.
Okay.
So deep research on the $20 a month plus plan, you get 25 deep researches a month.
And
I
and
recently
is that
go ahead.
Chat GPT or is that the Notebook LM?
That is in ChatGPT.
Okay.
So
Okay.
within ChatGPT, if you're paying the
switched back and
$20,
forth, so I wasn't entirely
yeah,
sure.
that's okay. So deep research really quickly in ChatGPT is literally I'm starting a new chat and I'm whatever I want to ask it. Once I get the prompt, okay, I'll actually take 2 seconds and explain this part. Don't immediately start with deep research. Start with help me create a deep research prompt on the subject of, and I don't care what you add from there. That's it. So you don't need to know how to prompt it. So I'm going to give you an example here on the subject of marketing to first-time homebuyers in California. Okay, so I didn't click the deep research button. Okay, I'm asking it to help me create a prompt. I asked it one sentence. Okay, now you have to use a reasoning model. I talked about this last month as well. So you don't want to use the 4.0 that's great for most tasks. You want to use either O3 or O4. You want to use one of the ones that has the word reasoning in it because you want it to think. Okay, these ones that don't say reasoning, they don't think. They give you the first answer that comes to mind. It's like when you go to the psychologist and they show you the blob on the paper and they say, "What's the first thing that comes to mind when you look at this?" Don't think, just tell me. Okay. Well, that's what AI is doing when it's not reasoning. But this one thought for 10 seconds. Okay. Vahe's asking, we get the recording about this. Yes, they'll all on my YouTube channel. You will get this one probably tomorrow in my Friday market update video. And all of them are in the same place. So I'll make sure that you got the link to that. So it thought for 10 seconds and it said, okay, well, here's my objective. Here's what I think we should do, research instructions, et cetera, competitive landscape, audit at least 10 lender and real estate brokerages with visible first-time homebuyer campaigns. Yes, Aruna, we will be sending out the recording. Capture creative ads, note any standouts, rank channels on social media, summarize the latest information, map how lenders and brands are weaving this into marketing funnels. I didn't ask for any of that. Like regional nuances, coastal nuances for Bay Area versus LA, Orange County versus San Diego versus inland markets, identify localized cultural communities and any language specific needs. Gang, I literally simply asked one sentence. Help me create a deep research prompt on the subject of marketing to first-time homebuyers in California. And it took that and expanded. And now I simply can take Insight right here. Okay. Man, this is amazing. Okay. Here's all of this. And I literally said, copy everything above it into your preferred AI research tool, whether it's ChatGPT or any of these other ones. Ask a tool to return everything and give you citations. Cool. I'm going to copy it. I'm literally going to paste it right back in here, but this time I'm clicking the deep research button. Okay. Now I upgraded to the $200 a month plan because I'm using this a lot more. So I have 250 of these a month. So it's not a big deal for me to burn one right now. And this is actually a pretty good topic. So I'm now going to click that button. And the first thing it says is, well, this is really well structured. Of course it is because you structured it for me. But thank you for complimenting yourself. Before I kick off the research, can you confirm if there's any specific audiences, regions, or lender types you'd like me to prioritize? Do you want me to focus on English only or Spanish insights as well? Okay, so I focus on the whole state and both languages, please. And it's going to go off to the races. Now, it could be 10 minutes of research. It could be an hour of research. I have no clue. It just is starting and I can walk away. I can go, because right here, it's marketing your first-time home buyers in California. I can go anywhere else I want and do something else. I can close the window. I can go eat pizza, anything I want. And I'll come back here and I'll see where the progress is. I don't really care. Like, don't watch the kitchen make the omelet. Okay, the idea is walk away, let the kitchen do its work making the omelet. Don't micromanage. There's nothing you're going to do anyway to make it any better or different. You have now burned one of your 25 that you get for the month if you pay the $20 a month version. So let it do its work. But this is going to give me a fully insightful research that now I can use as the basis of all of my future marketing questions. Heather, you shouldn't. Heather's asking if she needs to have the plus version. You shouldn't. I've shared it with somebody who didn't have the paid version and they were able to get it. So I don't know, and I'm forgive me for how this sounds, but I'm no longer worried about trying to prove it that it works because
It's fine. I asked it why I can't see it. So.
Oh, there you go. That's Heather just proved one of the most important things about AI. If you don't know how to use AI, ask AI how to use AI. That's it. That's it. Don't be overwhelmed. Don't be intimidated. Don't be afraid. Okay. There's so much this can do, but the simple thing is just start somewhere. Start with like Notebook LM is not a place to go to ask general information. Okay. It's a place to go when you have information like the deep research. Once you create the deep research and you got the 100 pages, paste that in, and now that becomes something that you can use as a reference point. But you got to have the reference point to start with. So it is a tool. So it's no different. I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now. Once I get to the place where I can stop sharing my screen. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up, and I'm going to say it's a tool. This is simply a tool in your tool belt. It's a really cool tool. I think that being in the industry that we are in, and even if you're watching this, I have some people here and also that watch afterwards that are not realtors, and any industry that you're in, there's information that you have to digest. This is the first tool I think of when I have information I have to digest. Now, again, I'm very cautious of what I put into the system. Now, these CC&Rs and these HOA notes and all that stuff, that's not like it may not be public information, but it's not private. It's not something that I am that can get me in trouble if somebody happened to get their hands on it. So be careful what you're putting in there. But you literally could import the PDF of a book. You could have a book review that was done on YouTube that you can import. You can import Google documents that you've got. There's so much you can do. I'm just scratching the surface. I don't want to overwhelm you with it. I simply want to impress upon you how easy this is to use as a source of truth. And I'm going to repeat. By the way, if you have questions, feel free to raise your hand. Feel free to put it into chats. Aruna, I'll get to your question in just a second, but guys, if you have any questions as I wrap up, make sure you get those put in there now. The biggest thing that differentiates Notebook LM from all of the other AI tools is that it will not hallucinate. Hallucination is an AI tool guessing. Okay. It is, you ask it a question and it wants to make you happy. And so it will give you an answer with confidence saying, oh, well, here's your answer, because it will be embarrassed to not give you an answer. Now that's oversimplifying it, but that's kind of the truth. Like AI is taught to answer your questions. And so it fills in the blanks. If it's not positive, it fills it in and gives you its best guess, because it's designed to be creative. It's designed to generate what is the next logical word in this sequence. It isn't designed to audit necessarily. And there's ways to make it an audit tool, but in general, it can make stuff up. It's what everybody's been freaking out about for the last couple of years is, I can't use it. I can't trust it. Well, there's ways to make it more trustworthy when you're using things like ChatGPT. But when it comes to digesting documents, Notebook LM is the way to go, because it can only look at the documents you're digesting. You tell it what to look at. You can give it websites and it can search all the stuff in that website, but it can't go beyond that website. It can't go beyond the PDF documents or the Google Docs that you've uploaded. And so it keeps you focused on what the information is that you are trying to digest. And that is the simplest way to think about this. All right, I'm about to wrap up. Aruna asked a question, what do I need to pay per month, or is it free? It is absolutely free. You just have to pay me for the training I gave you today to teach you how to use it for free. Just kidding, no training. My payment is accepted in referrals. So if you have a buyer who's looking to purchase a home, or a current homeowner who's looking to tap into their equity, that's how I get paid. But when it comes to Notebook LM, you literally just go to notebooklm.google.com. Okay, or
Thank you, John.
you're welcome. You're welcome. And no charge whatsoever, but you get benefits by being on the $20 plan. It took me a long time to go to the $20 plan, so you don't need to. But I started using more notebooks and I started getting more depth in the notebooks. And that's where the $20 plan helps.
Okay, thank you.
Beautiful. Does anybody else have any other questions, chat or live? This is your last moment to speak.
I did notice that you can do up to 5 deep research on ChatGPT, even on the free plan.
Well, there you go. Oh, okay. Yes, but no. Last week, 2 weeks ago, ChatGPT announced Deep Research Lite. Okay. So my deep research took 71 minutes of researching, a lot of computer power. There's the light version, doesn't go anywhere near as deep, doesn't spend anywhere near as much time. I was reading an article about it, and basically what they said is the free users get 5 of the light one. Okay.
Okay, that makes sense.
The paid users get 25, I think it's 25, maybe it's 20, of the full-fledged version. And if you exceed your 25 or 20, then any more before the end of the month resets. And by the way, it has to do with, it's not calendar months, so you can put your finger over it, it'll tell you how long. Okay.
It did say May, the end of May, but today's May 1st. So
there you go. So I think it's from the day you use the first one, it's 30 days out is when it will reset. And how do I want to say this? The paid version, you get the full deep research for your 25, and then you get the light version beyond that. So they kind of added that in the last week or two. And hey, the light version is fine. There's a light version on Gemini. Like Gemini has it, Grok has it. Lots of other systems have the light version. I've never been that impressed with deep research, but once I started using the full pull version in ChatGPT, I am stupid impressed. Like it is very, very thorough. Vahe is asking, can I show where is ChatGPT's deep research? I will happily show that again. So when you are, and it will, when you go back and watch the recording, Vahe, about 10 minutes ago in this recording, I went through this as well. But basically, when you are prompting it right here on the bottom, you're clicking the word deep research. And when you do that, it will take this time and do the deep research. So you don't want to click the word deep research until you've got a thorough prompt. Like my first prompt wasn't thorough. My first prompt was help me create a deep research prompt on the marketing to first-time home buyers in California. If I had said, hey, what do I need to know about marketing to first-time home buyers in California? And I click deep research, it would work, but it wouldn't be anywhere near as good. You didn't give it structure. If anybody has managed people, you get what you give. If you give bad instructions to a staff member, you get bad performance. And then you're mad at the staff member because they didn't do what you wanted them to do. They can't read your mind. And so this is the same thing. You get what you give in AI. If you give it bad instructions, you get bad results. You get what it thinks you wanted because you weren't clearer about what you really wanted. So that's the key when it comes to using AI, is to be very, very specific. Elizabeth asked, was it notebooklm.google? Yes, it is. So it is notebooklm.google.com is exactly what we're talking about here. All right, guys, we are out of time. I like starting on time and ending on time. Look like we have no more questions. Anything else anybody needs to add at the last minute?
Last quick question
Uh-huh.
you mentioned on ChatGPT using one of the reasoning ones.
Yes.
That's it. I'm assuming that's with Plus, or I just can't find where.
Yeah, they don't give reasoning to the free version. And
Okay. Makes
I
sense.
am a huge fan, like of anything that you're going to pay for related to AI. I tell everybody, pay for the $20 plan on ChatGPT. You get so much more for such little cost. It took me a long time to go to the $200 plan. Now that I'm on it, I'm like, man, I should have done it sooner, but that's a big jump. But going from $0 to $20 is not going to kill most people.
You have to have a lot of usage.
You get significant amount of benefit going from free to $20 a month. I strongly encourage that. All right.
Thanks so much.
Perfect. Thanks, gang. Appreciate you joining. Make sure to share this with everybody you know. And remember me when you have somebody who needs a mortgage. Have a good day. Bye.